He tried to put this one upside down too.
Well, they just naturally look like they go that way.
Alright, so what y'all seen there in the last, we got the crank in, we got it all measured out, everything looks good. We got our J-jets in, oil squirters, whatever you want to call them. We got all our rings gapped. We set them about 19, 5 and 6 is kind of a loose 19, closer to 20. But now we're just going to swap the pistons over on the other rods and get the rings on and get those in, measure the rod bearings out, and we should have a bottom end together here soon. Alright, so a little bit of catch up here. We do have our front cover on. CP3 is obviously on. We got our oil pump in, camshafts in, tappets in. We run into a little problem. As you can see, no pistons are in. So I was unaware of this, never used 12 valve rods. Apparently, so on 12 valve rods, both of your bearing tangs are on the same side. On a common rail rod, they are, well, I've already boxed them back up, but on a common rail rod, they're on different sides. So Trappers went to the store, we found a set of bearings, he's went to pick those up. So me and Logan went ahead and got everything we could get on. We got the rear main seal on, front cover on, he's working on the water deck now. Just little stuff like that until he gets back. So once we start dropping pistons in, I think we're going to put it in as a short block and sit the head on once it's in the truck. Cheap boards. Alright, so we put 12 valve rods in it twice. Turns out that sometimes 12 valve rods hit the camshaft. We didn't know about that until we put them in, so we had to pull them all back out, flip the rods over, but no big deal, we're getting it done. We got one of these puzzle piece gaskets from Cummins, and oil pan should be on it, should be a short block, and should be ready to go. So a little bit of catch up here. Y'all seen in the last clip we did get the short block set in. I'm about to start getting the ECM wired up. Logan is getting our valve spring swapped over into our new head, and we're going to start stripping that head down and set this one on, and we'll start dressing it up. So we'll get the ECM and the wiring harness in, and then we'll catch back up once we start bolting the head on and going from there. I think we're also going to try to reroute. I think I may already mentioned this, but our coolant down, straight down, follow the pan rail block and come up to our heater core lines. Try to just clean it up a little bit instead of that metal line running down the side of the head. But anyway, I think that's it for now. We did go ahead and get the trans out, so the motor's kind of sitting a little bit this way more than normal, but we're gonna get all that taken care of here soon. head gasket on, ready for our head. We threw a little paint on our head over there. We're letting it dry, and then we should be setting the head on and torquing the head down. We got just injector plugs, stuff like that, rail, map sensor, just the little stuff that we can't plug up yet. And once we get the head on, I guess we'll go ahead and bolt the trans up and tighten up the little bit of stuff that we can, and then we'll probably try to fire this thing dry. Alright, so a whole lot of time has gone by. We kind of just in the groove trying to get it done. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning now. We're going to crank it over and try to see if we can get some oil pressure built up. Go ahead and crank it. Or it's not going to start, just crank on it. Yeah, hit it. Get out one bottle.
Well, bad injector.
So it does run. Y'all heard it run. It runs really good, other than we have one dead hole. Looking at the injector when we pulled it out, we kind of was suspicious with that piston that melted down in the 5.9 over there. It didn't really hit the tip. It didn't look like, but it kind of damaged it. So we're looking at other options for injectors, and we're going to come back to it. But that's going to pretty much wrap up the 6.7 5.9 to 6.7 swap in this truck, and hopefully this engine lives a long life. All right, guys, so we was going to end the video off there. Run into a little bit of issue. We was going to film a part 3 being the injector and turbo install, and we was on an extreme crunch to get to Rocky Top. The whole goal of this truck was to get the engine done and get to Rocky Top in time. And if y'all watch part 1, if you haven't watched part 1, you need to go back and watch that video, and that'll explain a lot. But of course, we melted the turbo when the engine come apart, so now we needed a turbo, and we found out now that we need injectors. So we contacted DDP. DDP got us set up. Big thank you to them. They got us set up injectors extremely quick for what they were, and we got those put in, and we ended up getting a turbo from Forced Inductions. They're local to us, so he ended up with a 476-8710. We went ahead and bolted that on. Y'all see that here in the next few clips. I don't think we got any footage of bolting it on, but you'll see it in the video and wonder why there's a different turbo on there. That's why. But yeah, we got the injectors, turbo in, and that was going to be the part 3 to this build series, and ended up on the test drive after injectors and turbo, we broke the trans. So after already being on an extreme crunch, now with a broken transmission, now the crunch time was extreme at this point. So our really good friend Austin up in Midgets Diesel, we got the trans to him. Old Trapper got the trans to him. He did an amazing job. Y'all see a couple clips of the trans here in a minute. Looks phenomenal and performs even better. We got it put in, and then we was fighting oil leaks. We ended up having a oil galley behind the adapter plate that was actually leaking. We thought it was the rear main. Well, the rear main was actually leaking a little bit, so we put a rear main in it, put the trans back in, still leaking. Put a oil pan gasket on it in frame, which if you've ever done that, you know it's kind of a pain, still leaking. So we pulled the trans in and out multiple times trying to figure this out, finally determined it was an oil galley, finally got it fixed. I believe we finally finished this truck. We was leaving Friday about 1 o'clock to head to Rocky Top, and I believe we finally finished the truck about 9 that morning. So crunch time was extreme, but we got it done. We did get there. That video will be in the future, so if y'all want to see Rocky Top video, y'all make sure to subscribe down below. But yeah, that's a little explanation of why it's kind of, the video kind of sort of ends here, and then it's just going to pick up with the install of the injectors and turbo and transmission after that. So y'all see those clips there, but we'll roll those clips now, and y'all stay tuned because it gets pretty interesting after this. All right guys, so we got all our goodies here. I'm not saying a whole little care package, fuel treatment, t-shirt, stickers, but that's what we got. So 150 overs. I like how they package them individually, it's pretty nice. But yeah, t-shirt. We also got a fuel block. We got our pump there, 12 mil pump. We're gonna go ahead and throw the injectors in out here, and then we'll drive it to the shop. So in that last clip, y'all saw that we've finally got it running here. We're gonna make our first rip in it. We've also picked up a couple other passengers. Say hey to YouTube, guys.
What's up?
Obviously, we're gonna do this in Mexico and be completely safe. We got any coolant temp yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we're good.
please, no! No! No!
That's it. That's all of it. That was it.
What was that?
Input shaft. No.
What'd we do, Trevor?
Something happened.
It was not the engine. It was not the engine.
It was not the engine.
Little rescue mission. We have lost all forward gears and reverse. We lost any direction of the gear.
Like, not just like you're sort of in the
trying to get this done as quickly as possible. We're in a Rocky Top crunch. Trans is in. We're working on a shifter bracket with a new pan. You can see we're having to modify a little bit, but we're close. We got shifter bracket, wires, drive shaft, trans fluid, and hooking the new fuel line for the CP3 for the fast. And we should be firing this thing. Yeah, so sorry for the lack of catch up here. We got the battery charger on it. We got 3-ish gallons of transmission fluid in it. It's about all we can put in it without it overflowing until we crank it. We're trying to track down, this is our fuel line from our lift pump. We're trying to track down a number 8 fitting. It's the number 6 in it now, so we're trying to track down number 8. It's where Trapper is now. And we need a Carter key for the shift bracket that runs from our shifter down to our transmission. We need a Carter key to hold it. And once we get those two things wrapped up, it should be time to fire and run it through the gears, get the transmission fluid top back off, and we should be test driving this thing real soon. Hopefully everything goes well. We also got once we get it off, it's not completely off the rack yet, but once we get it all the way off the rack, we'll have to set our traction bars, where we put the lift legs right now. It's kind of got where we can't get the traction bars in there, but anyway, it's kind of a catch up, but we're gonna try to get this thing wrapped up before dark, and we'll be ready for Rocky Top. After we got the trans back in, try to get it warm so we can recheck trans fluid. Second, third. We got a lot going. She's got all the gears. Austin does know how to build a trans. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to wrap up the build series on Trapper's truck. We did get it done. We made it to Rocky Top in time. We had a really good time, so that video will be coming very soon. As y'all can see, I'm working on my quad cab a little bit, getting the race engine ready to go in. We got King of the Street coming up in just a few short months, so it's crunch time all over again. But we're about to get this stabbed in, maybe this weekend, maybe next, and we got a lot to do after that. It ain't by no means ready after we get the engine in. There's a lot of work still to do, so stay tuned. There'll be a lot of videos to come on that, and there'll be a Rocky Top video coming shortly. So I appreciate you guys watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you in the next one.